خل القرآن يسدده خلق القرآن ويرشده يسعى في العلم ويؤثره ويثابر فيه ويسنده أولى حق لا يغفله حق المولى فيوحده ينقاد لشرعة خالقه ليس الشهوات تقيده إن سمع أو رأى كثر أضحى لله تعبده لا يتبع مهيع مبتدع يقف الهادي ويقلده والقلب سليم من مرض يحوي القرآن يمجده يتلو ما يتلو من ذكر يتدبره ويردده.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Baba Salam from TVQ.Academy. I welcome you to a new episode in Juz Amma Practical Tajweed series. In today's episode, we will be going through Surah Al-Fatihah. Yes, Surah Al-Fatihah, although it is not part of Juz Amma, but we are including it because it is equally significant and important, if not more, as it is the most often recited surah in the Qur'an, and the Muslim's prayer will not be valid if his Surah Al-Fatihah is invalid. Here we aim, inshallah, to help anyone who comes across these videos to get his Surah Al-Fatihah corrected and validated if he has not done so yet with any Quran teacher elsewhere. So to start with Surah Al-Fatihah, and in today's episode we will be going through the surah, reading the surah and reciting the surah with proper tajweed. We will be highlighting, inshallah, some commonly made mistakes when reading Surah Al-Fatihah, and as we mentioned in the introductory episode, we will be highlighting two tajweed topics here: rules of Isti'adha, something in rules of Isti'adha, as well as something in rules of Lam as-Sakinah.
والقلب سليم من مرض يحوي القرآن يمجده يتلو ما يتلو من ذكر يتدبره ويردده.
Before we start with the surah, I would like to mention that when reading the surah, inshallah, I will give you space and time to read after me in our first attempt or even in our second attempt, inshallah ta'ala. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Now, let me read the surah one more time, but with shorter pace in between. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
وإذا الخيرات له سنحت قنص الخيرات تصيده يتواضع لله الأعلى في كل مآل يحمده.
Now moving forward, let's check on some of the commonly made mistakes when reading Surah Al-Fatihah. Before we start, I would like to highlight that when we are highlighting some commonly made mistakes in reading Surah Al-Fatihah, we are just highlighting some and not necessarily all, and mistakes are made based on one's experience in reading, based on one's competence, and based on one's level in reading. A different person would definitely have different set of mistakes. A different person from a different level will have different set of mistakes. Even 2 people or 3 people in the same level of reading may have different sets of mistakes. And furthermore, our attention and focus also determines how much mistakes we make or how less mistakes we make. However, this is just a guidance for the learner of Surah Al-Fatihah. And to start, we will start with Isti'adha. Al-Isti'adha. A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Al-Isti'adha is not part of Surah Al-Fatihah. In fact, it is not part of any surah, but it's something that we are encouraged to read when we start reading the Qur'an. When we are reading it at the beginning of our recitation, we should read it just like we are going to read any other verse in that particular recitation. So we should read it with the melody of any other verse we are going to read after it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. One of the mistakes commonly made is أعوذ. The Hamza and the Ain are read either the same, either as Hamza or as Ain. أعوذ or أعوذ. And none of these two is correct, but we should separate the Hamza from the Ain. Take a look at the Hamza here. This is how it is pronounced. The Hamza must come from this part of one's throat. How do you get it pronounced? You just put a sukun to the Hamza, ta. Then you will get that this part of your throat will be closed, and this only way we can pronounce Hamza. Ta, all right, so this is where Hamza will come from, and later on we will see where our Ain will come from. Ain comes from here. So if Hamza comes from here, Ain comes from here. They are too close. They are actually neighbors, if not siblings. So, but they are different. So, a'udhu, going back, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. So differentiate between Hamza and Ain. أعوذ بالله. Next will be the Dhal over here. The Dhal is Dhal and not Zai. How do you pronounce Dhal? Let's take a look at this. Dhal and tha come from the same makhraj, but we are focusing here now on dhal. Adhal. This is how we can get it pronounced. You must engage the tip of your tongue here with this part of your teeth. Only then one can be able to pronounce dhal or tha, but focus here now on dhal. A'udhu billah. Going back. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان. Now من shin, emphasize on the shin. Apply, let it spread inside your mouth. من الشيطان الرجيم. The ya Sakinah after the shin is sukun, and give it some sense of lean. Do not make it sound like qalqala. Don't make it sound like من الشيا. It becomes either qalqala or fatha. Min ash-shayatani. This common mistake some people do make. Min ash-shay ay min ash-shaytani rajim. And the next one will be the emphasis which we are supposed to apply on the ra, ar-rajim. Min ash-shaytani rajim. A'udhu billahi min ash-shaytani rajim. If you are able to master this, you have already mastered a lot of things in reading the Quran. So let's take this seriously, not because it is not part of surah of any surah, so we take it lightly. Read it seriously and master it, and you will be able to master a lot of things in the Quran. And moving on, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. One of the commonly made mistakes we make is Bismillah is one of the common verses which we actually repeat every other time, even outside the Quran. Bismillah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So it is easy for people or for readers of the Quran to apply to start it silently. Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is wrong. The ba is an active letter, and we should apply activeness to it, and we do so by saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We mentioned in Al-Isti'adha earlier on, A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir ra. The same thing applies here, Ar-Rahmani. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And the following will be the same, Ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Now, Alhamdu, we have Hamza, Sakin, Hamza to Wasl. Lam at-Ta'rif, it is called. We have Hamza to Wasl, which comes together with Lam at-Ta'rif, Al-Ta'rif. Together are called Al-Ta'rif. We will talk about it later on. Alhamdu, sometimes we click on the sound of the Lam, Alhamdu, either consciously or subconsciously. Either way, we just need to make sure we know what we are doing. Alhamdu, not Alhamdu. Alhamdu lillah. Next will be the ha. Actually, I did not highlight this until a few nights ago. I heard someone leading prayers in the mosque, and he pronounced this wrongly by saying alhamdu, alhamdu. And this is very serious. Alhamdu, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, rabbi. We come back again to the ba. The ba this time around is how it is pronounced, mim, sometimes carelessly, I will say. Ba and mim come from the same point of makhraj, but they are not the same. So we shouldn't say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, Rabbil Alamin, Rabbil Alamin. The emphasis which the ba requires does not add mim to it by any means. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Next, what we said in Alhamdu is also applicable here. Al-Alamin, we shouldn't say Rabbil Alamin, we should say Rabbil Alamin. Now I'm highlighting the noon at the end because we should stop on it as noon and not mim. If you look at this mim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and you look at me, you see that I close my lips right away, right on the mim itself. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. But on the noon, I shouldn't do the same, because if I do the same and then it becomes that I'm applying meme rather than noon. Rabbil Alameen, and not Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Thereafter, if you want to close your mouth, go ahead and do so. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. We have already explained this. Ar-Rahmani. The ha over here needs to be flattened, and you have to close the makhraj so that it becomes ha rather than Ar-Rahmani. Ar-Rahmani Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahim. And next will be Maliki Yawmiddin. Maliki. Over here, if you take a close look, you will find that there is a little alif after the meme, not on the meme, after the meme, in between the meme and the lam al-maksura. This is mad, and we should apply mad. So if you open the Quran and you see a little alif, do not ignore it, apply it accordingly. Maliki Yawmiddin. Especially in riwayah Hafs, we say Maliki, we don't say Maliki. Elsewhere it is said Maliki. In Hafs it is said Maliki Yawmiddin. The next commonly made mistake is by pronouncing ta instead of dal. Let's take a look at where they both come from. Surprisingly, this dal and this ta both come from the same makhraj. Alright? So we have ad. We have at. So what makes difference between them? The difference is there's the breath that comes after the ta. If you pronounce it with sukun, it's, which you cannot do that for dal. You have to say ad. That's it's not. It's only applicable to the ta. Unlike if you do it in the dal, ad. Addi. So you should hold back the wind, which is applicable to ta but not applicable to dal. Maliki Yawmiddin. If you wrongly do it, it will sound Maliki Yawmiddin, and this will take us to Wattini Wazzaytun. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. One of the very commonly made mistake is to losing the ya over here where it's supposed to be emphasized. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Over here, if you take a close look at the dal with dhamma followed by waw, an active waw. This is an active waw and it's not a mad. It is not a silent waw. Sometimes, in fact many times, some people drag it and say Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka, and this is wrong. And it changes the meaning. We don't want to change the meaning of the Quran. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. The same thing. Wa iyyaka nasta'in. We mentioned in Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Now we have Hamzatul Wasl over here. This Hamzatul Wasl requires Kasra, and the Kasra needs to be Kasra. Kasra means it must be pure and clear. We shouldn't say Ihdina, Ihdina, Ihdina. The Kasra needs to be very crystal clear. This is the only way I can say it. Ihdina. If there is any better way I can say it, please drop me a comment so that I will be using it in the future episode, inshallah. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. As-sirata. Over here also there is a little alif after the ra. In some copies of the Quran it is clearer. Over here, this is the best I can get for my software. So please bear with me. There is an alif here, as-sirata, and also do emphasize the sound of the sad. As-siratal mustaqim, and the next will be al-mustaqim. Once I say this, you already know what I'm talking about. al-mustaqim. The ta over here after the sin needs to be ta. Don't say al-mustaqim. Al-mus. Smile to the sin and smile to the ta, and then move on to the qaf. Al-mustaqim. Al-mustaqim. Now we have al-qaf, make it qa. Al-mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. صراط الذين. Over here we have that. We have already explained it earlier on. الذين, the. Don't say الذين, please. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. أنع. Over here we have Hamza. After that followed by Noon, and then Ain after the Noon. There are two ways of misreading this. Either the person says An'amta, make both of them Hamza, or An'amta, make both of them Ain. Either one is correct, is wrong. So please do differentiate between Hamza and Ain. An'amta alayhim. غير المغضوب. The ghain over here needs to be tafkhim. We shouldn't click on the sound. Click on the sound means we apply qalqala. Al-maghdubi. No. Al-maghdubi alayhim. Al-maghdubi alayhim waladda. Before we talk about the dad here, we have also dad before on the al-maghdubi, but I purposely focus on this one because it is more emphasized. Once we are able to overcome this, we should be able to overcome the lighter one, inshallah. And how do we do that? To pronounce dad, we need to engage many parts of our mouth inside there. Take a look at this is one's tongue, and these are his jaws, right? So al-maghdubi. You don't have to blow your mouth, your mouth. Al-maghdubi. Waladda. You don't have to blow, just engage the sides of your tongue, which is over here, right and left. If you can engage both, better, right? If you engage right and left, you will get the best of dad pronunciation. However, if you cannot engage both, it's fine. Engage the right side or the left side. Either way, you should be able to pronounce a proper dad, right? So if you are able to engage here with this side or this side, both at the same time, fine. If not, one will do just perfect. All right. So waladda. Next will be the mad over here. We have to prolong it for long. This is what I can say now. I won't ask you to count because the counting is also subjective. وَلَضَّالِّينَ. Most importantly, when you drag it, it must be longer than any mad you are going to apply in your reading. It must be among the longest. Now, وَلَضَّالِّينَ. The mad you apply here must maintain the same heaviness you start from the dad. وَلَضَّالِّينَ. Until you land on the lam. وَلَضَّالِّينَ. Do not open your mouth halfway, and then the sound of the mud, the heaviness will turn into lightness. وَلَضَّالِّينَ. And some do this, and this is mistake. وَلَضَّالِّينَ. Do not say وَلَضَّالِّينَ. All right. So with that, we have come to the end of commonly made mistakes made or read in Surah Al-Fatihah. Is it right?
أجمل بوفاء شيده وعفاف قل مشيده لا يخطو نحو مذممة شلت عن إجرام يده.
So let's move on to the next section of today's series. And we have rules of al-Isti'adha. When we say al-Isti'adha is the process of saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. So when someone says A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, the person has made Isti'adha, and that process is called al-Isti'adha. Now, when you read this at the beginning of your reading, you will say Isti'adha and say Basmalah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and then read. How do we do it? What are the options we have for the Quran reader? When you are doing Isti'adha, definitely you will bring Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim at the beginning of the surah. And for that, you have 4 options as a reader, and 4 options all are equally the same. You can apply any one of your choice. Choice number 1 is to separate all. Choice number 2 is to separate and then link. Choice number 3 is to link all. Choice number 4 is to link and then separate. Easy. How easy? We say to separate all means you say your Isti'adha, take a breath, and say your Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Basmalah, and take a breath, and then say your beginning of the surah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, or it can be any other surah. That is separate all. Link, separate and then link is to say your al-Isti'adha and stop. For example, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and then link the remaining. Then you say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Separate and then link. Now link all, we say link all together in one breath. Read all together in one single take or one single breath by saying أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين. Right? That is link all. Please do not take link all if you don't have enough breath to combine them in one breath. It doesn't make sense, I would say, to try to link all and stop in the middle of the verse, for example, or in the middle of Bismillah. Trying to link all, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillah. There's no need. We are not forced to do that. Just take it easy. You have options. Take the easier option for your ability and yourself. That is link all, and then we have link and then separate. Link and then separate means to link al-Isti'adha with Basmalah, and then have a breath, and then continue with the beginning of the surah by saying أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين. This can be any surah of your choice. This is at the beginning of the surah. If you are starting your reading at the beginning of the surah, starting, this is what you do. When you link a surah with another surah, at the end of one surah and the beginning of a different surah, that's a different story altogether. We will discuss that in a different episode, inshallah. Now, these are the options. All the options are equally correct and permissible. You can do any of your choice, but please apply which is more suitable for your health and breath. Next will be what if I am doing al-Isti'adha in the middle of the surah? In other words, what if I am reading from the middle of the surah and not from the beginning of the surah? Do I have to put Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim because there's no Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim in the middle of the surah? You have the option when reading in the middle of the surah, you can read al-Isti'adha and then proceed with the point of your reading, or you can read al-Isti'adha, Basmalah, and then proceed with your point of your reading. Meaning, if you are reading from the middle of any surah, you can actually say your al-Isti'adha and then proceed. For instance, you can say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد. You can say that. Or, if you want to include Bismillah, since it is in the middle of the surah, you can say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. We take this Malik Yawm al-Din as an example of a middle of surah. Now, and you can also apply the link all, stop in between, or link and separate, depending on whichever you take, and you are set to go, inshallah. Now let's go back to one more topic of tajweed, and here we have rules of lam as-sakinah. Rules of lam as-sakinah. And to make it easy and short, we have already spent more than 25 minutes. To make it easy and short, we are going to take one out of 6 types of lam as-sakinah. In other words, what is a lam as-sakinah? A lam as-sakinah is a silent lam when it occurs, alif lam, a silent lam when it occurs in the Quran or in Arabic language. So anywhere you find lam as-sakinah, it has a rule in Arabic language. There are 5 types of lam as-sakinah, and these 5 types are lam al-ism, lam al-ta'rif, definite lam. The next will be lam al-fi'l, lam al-amr, and then lam al-harf. Today we will be highlighting 1 lam out of 5, and the remaining 4 will be highlighted in the right time in the future, insha'Allah ta'ala. And lam al-ta'rif is lam al-ta'rif. Lam al-ta'rif will be definite article lam, which is used at the beginning of names, Arabic names. It can be al-hamdu. This lam at the beginning of al-hamdu is lam al-ta'rif. Al-alamin, this is lam al-ta'rif. As-sirata, alif lam and then sad is lam al-ta'rif. Now I said alhamdu, al-alamin, as-sirata. What's the difference? You can clearly hear it in alhamdu, al-alamin, but as-sirata, you hear it merged. Ash-shaytani, a'udhu billahi minash-shaytani. Ash-shaytani, it is merged. This is where we come to the point of it is categorized into 2 different types or categories. The first one is lam ash-shamsiyya, ash-shaytani, ar-rajim, ar-rahman. And the second one is al-qamariyya, alhamdu, al-alamin, alright, al-maghdubi. So this is the basic of lam at-ta'rif, which is divided into ash-shamsiyya and al-qamariyya. Now, lam ash-shamsiyya is when any of the following 14 letters of Arabic occur after alif lam. To make it easy, these are the 14, which means the half of lam, half of Arabic alphabets are ash-shamsiyya. So add this alif lam in front of the ta and you have at-ta, atha, adda, adha. You cannot say al-tha, الذا، الرا، الرحمن، الزا، الزيتون، السا، السلام، الشا، الشيطان، الصا، الصلاة، الضا، الضالين، الطا، الطريق، الظا، الظالمين، أعوذ بالله منهم، الله، اللام، بالله، الله، أن، النور. Right. So these are the 14 letters of which are applicable to lam at-ta'rif. So whenever alif lam comes in front of any of these letters, you must merge it and it becomes ash-shamsiyya. Why is it called ash-shamsiyya? Ash-shams, because it's just used metaphorically, I will say, to differentiate between ash-shamsiyya and al-qamariyya. Ash-shams and al-qamar are siblings, brothers, if you may, and it is used to differentiate them. Those which belong to ash-shamsiyya, you pronounce them just like you imagine alif lam in ash-shams. Ash-shams, you don't say al-shams. The other 14 belong to, an example of lam ash-shamsiyya will be Allah, al-Rahman, al-Rahim, ad-Din, al-Sirat, ad-Dallin. The other 14 will be al-Arnab, for example. We cannot say Arnab, Arnab. Al-Ba, al-Baraka, we cannot say Ab-Baraka, Ab-Baraka. No way. We can only say al-Baraka, al-Jibal, al-Halq, al-Khalq, al-Alamin, al-Ghayb, al-Fil, al-Qalam, al-Kaf. We cannot say al-Kaf, al-Mim, al-Waw, al-Ha, al-Ya. So 14 out of the 28, half of it, 14 belong to ash-shamsiyya, 14 belong to al-qamariyya, and the example will be alhamdu, al-alamin, al-mustaqim, al-maghdubi, And inshallah, in another episode, we will be taking one type of lam as-Sakinah and explain it inshallah ta'ala. And with that, we have come to the end of lam, the rules of lam as-Sakinah, which is one of two topics we have explained today in our episode of Juz Amma Practical Tajweed series, which covered Surah Al-Fatihah, commonly made mistakes, and two rules. Before we end, this is another recitation of Surah Al-Fatihah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. With that, we have come to the end of today's episode of Juz Amma Practical Tajweed series. Until our next, I leave you in Allah's protection. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share, please leave your comment, send in your audio recording of Surah Al-Fatihah through to the WhatsApp number available in the description below, and inshallah, I will do my best to attend to each one of them and reply to each one of them and feature some of them on this channel bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Until then, I leave you in Allah's protection. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
هذا الوهاب سيكرمه وبرحمته يتغمده ويذيع الله له ذكرا وإلى الآباد يخلده. هذا مني وأنا منه وفضائله ستسوده. طابت في الدنيا عيشته وعوالي الجنة موعده. طابت في الدنيا عيشته وعوالي الجنة موعده.